right, everyone, we'll go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, and thank you for coming out to Martinsville Speedway today. We're joined by some familiar faces that some of you may recognize. First off in the center, we have Martinsville Speedway President Clay Campbell. And then right to his left, we have IMSA President John Doonan. They're joined by Jonathan Applegate, Senior Manager for Mazda Motorsports, right here on the end to my right. And then at the end, we have Lisa Tharp representing Virginia Tourism. And right next to Clay's right, we have Jimmy Wilson, Senior Director of the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. So I want to say a big welcome to you guys. Thanks for coming out. We're thrilled to have you here with us, and I'll go ahead and turn it over to Clay for some exciting news to share.
Thank you, Kendall, and thanks to everyone for taking time to be with us today. It seems every time I open a press announcement here, we've got exciting news, but I'm telling you, this is some of the most exciting news that we have ever had. We're really looking forward to it, and it's all due to a culmination of a thought turning into reality. And these two guys to my left were a big part of that, John and Jonathan. We're really looking forward, and I know you saw the car as you came in, so I'll cut right to it. As most of you know, this is the championship event for the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour, October 26th. Now we will add the Mazda MX-5 Cup from IMSA to be a part of that. 100 laps for Mazda MX-5 Cup, 200 laps for the Modified Series. Virginia's for Racing Lovers 300. I thank Lisa over here for their participation from Virginia Tourism. But we're really excited about it. It's going to be an awesome event. For me personally, this is the first announcement I have ever made for another series running Martinsville. So it's unusual, but you know, IMSA being part of NASCAR now, it all makes sense. The first time I saw the Mazda MX-5 Cup at Watkins Glen, I said, good gracious, they put on a show. And then it started conversations with John and Mike Helton, Jim France, and Jonathan, and it just escalated from there. And it's been about a year and a half process to get this announced. But today is a special day for us, and we're really excited about it. Virginia's for Racing Lovers 300 is going to be one you don't want to miss. So I will turn it back to Kendall.
All right, thank you, Clay. That was an exciting announcement, and that backdrop behind you guys looks pretty cool. That's going to be a lot of fun in October, both for fans and for all of us here in the industry. So we'll go ahead and now turn it over to Mr. John Doonan. So John, I know there's been a lot of exciting planning to get to this day, and now that it's officially on the schedule, what are your thoughts about that? What are you most excited about?
Well, first of all, seconding Clay's comments, thanks to everyone who's joined us here from all the media outlets and everybody watching on the stream. But I remember Clay texting me during the Watkins Glen weekend and said, can you come up to my office? And usually that means something's not going quite well. But on the screen was the MX-5 Cup race. And he said, we need to bring these cars to Martinsville and maybe give them a test. And, you know, Jim France and Mike Helton, as Clay pointed out, were a big part of this becoming a reality. And we came and tested last August. It went incredibly well. I think Clay himself put on his suit and helmet and did some laps. And Bobby Labonte, who's here with us today, I remember his win here in 2002 in the Interstate Batteries car. And I think, Bobby, your winnings for that race were just shy of $170,000. And I think the full season champion in MX-5 Cup gets $250 now. So very exciting opportunity for us. And to Clay's point, I think you know, IMSA being part of the NASCAR family, and my NASCAR teammate Jimmy a few seats over, our offices happen to be on the same floor, so we've had several hallway conversations about this coming together. The Mazda MX-5 is an incredible race car. Ironically, you know, roadsters ran on the beach in Daytona. It was a vision of the France family to do that. They brought them to the big track. Well, these little roadsters are actually built in Daytona Beach, Florida by Fliss Performance. It's an incredible race car, very versatile, and I think that's what we saw when we came here last August, is the car's incredible on a road course, but it's also incredible in this format. And there's so much history here at Martinsville. Thrilled that NASCAR and IMSA could team up on this. And I think thanks again to the Virginia is for Lovers folks. That race that Bobby won in '02, I think, was the Virginia 500. And so it all ties together. We're incredibly honored to be part of it and have MX-5 Cup as our sanction. The Whelen folks, the Michelin folks are a big part of it too, and just thrilled to see it all come together.
John mentioned something that I think is important here. Open top cars have not run Martinsville Speedway since 1950. So this will be the first time we have open top cars, and I like to say that night will be all about open top and open wheels. It doesn't get any better than that with the modified series and MX-5 Cup. And again, these cars being built in Daytona. Thanks so much to Troy and Todd Fliss for their undying effort to make this happen. Everybody has really done a super job in putting that thought to reality, and again, it's an exciting day for Martinsville.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Clay. And we'll slide on over to Jonathan Applegate. Jonathan, this will be the first time the Mazda MX-5 Cup will officially race on an oval. So what can we expect to see once those cars get on track?
Yeah, you can expect to see a lot of razor edge racing. I mean, we've been a series since 2006 and have had, the arguably closest racing on the planet, as John Doonan likes to say, since his old tenure. But since we've been with IMSA, sanctioned with IMSA since 2021, we have shown, put ourselves on another platform in terms of just the close racing on all the iconic sports car road course tracks, the Daytonas, the Sebrings, the Laguna Secas of the world. So for us to come here on a half mile, an iconic historic racetrack like Martinsville Speedway, and do something different, like we have not done this, and it's something of, from a Mazda brand perspective, we like to take the road less traveled, challenger brand coming from a category of one, and we like to do things differently. So for us to see this, and as John and Clay mentioned, just the collaborative group coming together to make this happen, such a collaborative effort, and for us to see it go from an idea to something that's actually come to fruition here right in front of our eyes, and to announce the event. I don't know if I can say the date yet, taking place October 26th this fall. A Saturday, one-day event. It's just going to be a phenomenal opportunity for us to showcase not only the parity of our cars and the way that the MX-5 Cup, the true roadster, the essence of the sports car itself, but how Fliss builds into that to make it a true bulletproof race car. That's special, but to see our racers, not only our racers from MX-5 Cup, the talent that they're bringing to the table, but also NASCAR iconic folks like Bobby Labonte and others to come join us, it's going to be very, very exciting stuff.
Yes, it will. All right, now we'll go down to Jimmy Wilson. Jimmy with the Whelen Modified Series. The Mods finale is on the same weekend as the Mazda MX-5 Cup race here in October. Are you looking forward to seeing these two series compete back-to-back?
Absolutely. One of the neat things where we are currently as a company with NASCAR, IMSA, and everything, is just all the different brands of racing that we have to offer. And for the first time coming together, here at Martinsville Speedway, it doesn't get any better than this. It doesn't get any more iconic than this, with the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, NASCAR's oldest division, coming here and then for the first time joining IMSA and the Mazda MX-5 Cup on the same weekend. It's two totally different types of racing that the fans are going to see for the first time here at Martinsville Speedway. We'll be crowning our champion. That'll be our season finale for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. We've had two other excellent events here with our season finale and the championship coming right down to the end of it. But then when you factor in the Mazda MX-5 Cup being here, and it's really neat when you get a new division like this, to us that we haven't been with, and watching the competitors go over and check out each other's cars and the conversations that happen between the two competitors, it just brings a whole different light to the event, and it makes it a lot of fun. And that's part of what this business is about, is the fun and introducing new things. And we're going to do that here on October the 26th.
Thank you, Jimmy. And lastly, for Lisa, Virginia Tourism has been the entitlement partner for the Mods series previously, but how does it feel adding another race to Martinsville on the schedule for you guys?
Well, of course, we could not be happier for that. We've had a long relationship with Clay and Martinsville Speedway over the years and decades, so this new addition is exactly what we needed. Virginia is in the top 10 in the nation for tourism. $83 million a day gets spent in Virginia on tourism, and it takes extra venues, extra events, extra excitement like this to continue that momentum and continue that push towards stay in the top 10. So thank you for this edition of Race, and I know it's going to bring in people from all over. Martinsville Speedway is such the hub for Southern Virginia, brings people in from all over the nation, even internationally, right, here. So the spokes around this hub of Martinsville Speedway is what it takes, because people don't just come to the race and leave. They shop. They stay overnight. They spend money. They fill up their cars with gas. They buy, gifts to take home. So it's that collaboration and just bringing everybody together right here. So that race is going to really help us quite a bit with Virginia, stay in the top 10. And Virginia's definitely for racing lovers. And we definitely love Martinsville Speedway. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. And at this time, we'll go ahead and open it up to questions from the media for those guys up here. So please, if you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get to you. And after which, we will bring up the drivers for the second portion of our press conference. So any questions, please raise your hand. We'll start up front here with Charles.
It is Saturday night, the week before the Xfinity 500. Correct. The Wheeling Modified Tour last year was on Thursday night. We moved it back to Saturday. We realized that it's difficult for those guys. Most of them have regular jobs, so to come down here, and most of the guys come down from up north. So for them to take the effort to come down on a Thursday night, it pretty much takes them out of work for at least 3 days. So in an effort to make it more affordable, more efficient for everyone involved, and Saturday night, let's face it, that's a good night for racing. And now with the Wheeling Modified Tour and Mazda MX-5 Cup, Saturday night, October 26th is a place to be. 2 races. 100 laps for the Mazda MX-5 Cup, 200 for the Modified.
And you gotten in one of these cars yet?
Yes, I did last year when we tested them.
How does it rate to like a cup car or something?
Never driven a cup car, but I will say this: I've driven a lot of different race cars. That was the most fun I've ever had.
What was fun about it?
Open top, number one. Number two, it's incredible the speed this car produces on this racetrack. And well, I made the mistake of trying to use the brakes and almost went through the windshield on the first lap. So. Fans are going to love it. It's something they haven't seen before, and we always try to stay ahead of the curve and be innovative here at Martinsville, and I think this is a real good way of doing that, bringing something to the fans that they haven't seen. There will be a lot of people out here with a lot of curiosity, and the 2 series that will be running that night, as Jimmy said, that's the oldest series in NASCAR, the Wheeling Modified Tour, the oldest. They've been around forever, and modifieds are pretty well synonymous with Martinsville. It's hard to talk about Martinsville Speedway without talking about the history of the modified series here. We love them, always have, and we're so excited to keep them coming back year after year. Now we have additional excitement in bringing Mazda here and IMSA. So it's, and I don't say this just to say it, it's a real thrilling time for us.
How many races this fall? How many we got?
We've got the Valley Star Credit Union 300 in September, and then we have this race the week before. We have trucks on Friday night, Xfinity on Saturday night, and Cup on Sunday. Yeah.
All right.
Busy fall.
Additional questions? We'll go up here to Eric.
Clay, you touched on it, but being innovative, but also keeping that prestigious charm that the track has as well. The open tops. When you look back at the older pictures around and such, what kind of feeling does that evoke, considering everything you personally have gone through to help continue to build this track?
Well, I think if you look at our fan base, we probably have more than most people that were here years ago, and we'll probably have people here that were here back in the 50s when open tops ran. So that's pretty cool for them to remember that and come and witness modern vehicles, modern technology, and compare. But I think it's pretty cool to do something totally out in left field. And believe me, when what John was talking about, when I thought about we need to have this series at Martinsville, did I think it would happen on that first conversation? No. But you never know until you ask. And I know Jim and Mike were highly interested. They talked to me before about it, and Mike Helton and Jim France. So once it started, filtering through the company, especially with John and Jonathan over here. Here's where we are.
Was there any hesitation considering you mentioned the first time on an oval? Hesitation in that regard in terms of like, how do we make this happen? How do we get this done?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, at first, that was one of the variables of the equation. We looked at that and we tested last August. So that got a lot of buzz last year around this time. And to my surprise, and somewhat not really, because the QDR of the car, quality, durability, reliability of that car is just phenomenal. But still going out without testing, you want to see what happens. So when we went out in August and put the cars on the track running five wide, a lot of good racers out there in the car, the platform spoke for itself. And after that, 100% confidence, the fans are going to see an amazing show. Yeah.
Come up to Kara.
Clay or any of you, you said Martinsville will host 6 different types of racing this fall. What does that say just about the versatility of this track that you can host so many cars that it's all good racing?
That's a good question. For years and years, we were primarily Cup and either modified or Xfinity, and it's been numerous names throughout history. But to have modifieds, to have Mazda MX-5, all in the other 3 I just mentioned, I think it speaks volumes on what can be done here. I think it speaks volumes on what the industry as a whole thinks of Martinsville. To do a first race like this, and these guys are taking the chance on doing it, I think that's, again, speaks volumes. For the Whelen Modified Tour to have their season finale, the championship decided here at Martinsville. I mean, what more could be said? It really makes us feel good to know that, hey, this place means a lot to motorsports industry, and we're just broadening our reach on that with these guys.
Come right over here.
For either of you guys, is this an opportunity to open up your sport to a new group of fans and a wider fan base?
Yeah, I can start and Jonathan can add on, but clearly IMSA is known for endurance sports car racing and road racing, and we have a very passionate, loyal audience over there that follows us around the country, and people come from around the world. What was said earlier, they now, I think, will turn their eyes to Martinsville Speedway on October 26th with their loyalty. And then to Clay's point, there's been a massively loyal fan base that's come here to Martinsville for years or follows the Whelen Modified Series around the country or follows NASCAR, and they're going to have a new offering right before their eyes. So I think all of motorsports is at an incredible moment, and it's events like this that are unique, that have put different platforms of the sport in front of people that may have never seen it before. And I'm not sure which of the cars is going to be louder on the track, because the MX-5 cars make a really special sound, and I know the modifieds do as well. But it's going to be a fantastic show, and the close finishes that Martinsville is known for over the years, and the close finishes that MX-5 Cup has had for decades now, I think this is going to be a mixture of the two, for sure.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I think race fans are going to see something new and exciting on the oval, but it's also a thought, and Clay mentioned it just with the different eclectic groups that are racing here at Martinsville Speedway over the next 2 weeks. But it just showcases where the health of the sport is in general, motorsports, from sports cars to NASCAR, and the thought process and the strategic vision of IMSA leadership in NASCAR, looking at a platform in Mazda and MX-5 Cup and saying this is something that we can see translate on an oval, but not necessarily just here in and of itself, but looking at it as an opportunity for race fans and also racers who are looking to develop their skills, their craft, moving into whatever category that may be, whether that's sports car, whether that's stock car racing, and finding that ambitious path for them. This is an opportunity for us to be showcased in a way that shows our product and our cars and our race fans in a different, or race drivers in a different fashion. So we're excited about it, and I think that in and of itself will produce a lot of excitement for the race fans. And new race fans at that.
And then, Clay, will a grandfather clock be given out to the winner?
You don't race here without getting some type of clock. Yes, there will be a clock. Sure, yes. And we have that. We didn't bring it down, but we have a clock. That's synonymous with winning here. But there will be a very special clock given to the winner of this race. So we look forward to that. And touching on another thing that Jonathan was talking about that I thought about, you've heard the saying, you win on Sunday, you sell on Monday. There can be nothing truer than winning on Sunday and selling on Monday with these cars. They said I test drove last year when we had the test. I sat in the car and I've had one of these cars before and even had the air conditioning louvers in there. The air conditioning didn't work, by the way, but it's amazing what you see on a showroom floor looks very much like what you see here, minus roll bars. So I think it's really going to appeal to our fan base, those traditional fans and those that are looking for something else, those that follow road racing, get to see it here at Martinsville. So I think it's an ideal combination.
Slide over to Chad.
Jonathan, you said something about these cars being bulletproof, but then you said 5 wide at Martinsville. Kind of walk me through that.
Are you going to eat my words? No.
I hope not.
Yeah.
But kind of walk me through that, and what do you think guys like yourself and the teams will be wanting to make changes? They've never raced here, and they're going to want to win, so they're going to have strategy.
Yeah, exactly. And there's still a lot to work out there on the strategic side, but we've got some good racers, some drivers, some managers, some team owners in our current paddock that have a Martinsville background specifically that have really helped us, and then the experts at Fliss Performance that have really helped us understand what kind of setups we need to come in. The test last August really helped us understand exactly what we need to do as a baseline setup to come in and really get the cars race ready to go. But at the end of the day, rubbing and racing on this track is going to happen. So I think that really just comes down to, and I would challenge everybody in the room to watch some MX-5 Cup racing because that happens already. In the IMSA YouTube, go check it out, and watch some of the racing that we've produced. At Sebring this year, we were five wide, literally with a hundredths of a second of a finish. So we're used to this sort of style of racing, and our racers are, and that's what makes it special. To put this on a condensed paperclip, oval, and make this happen, I think it's par for the course for the racers. It's just a different style, and we'll see what happens. Yeah. And you mentioned the grandfather clock. I just want to add here, as we do in our series and our championship chase with IMSA, we offer $250,000 to our champion, and we pay all the way through 10th place. Our rookie of the year gets $80,000. We have per race prize funding. We will follow that same sort of status quo on this end in terms of payouts, where we're going to pay cash prizes for the 1st through 10th. First place will get $15,000 cash. Second gets $8,000. Third gets $6,000, fourth gets $4,000, fifth gets $2,000, and then we pay 6th through 10th. We pay $1,000, and then we'll have a stage break, and we'll also pay for that 3 different times. So we're going to put our money where our mouth is, and we really want to see racers step up from all genres of motorsport to participate with us.
Do you have any idea how many cars might show up for this event?
We're targeting somewhere around. Ideally, we'd like to see the 30-ish mark. I think we already have a paddock that's about 30 for us for a main championship series. So a lot of our racers are already showing a lot of excitement, but we have, we want to see some of these NASCAR iconic guys, some of the, the young ambitious racers coming from other places, and maybe local Clay, right? And bring them in and participate with us. We have the car count, we have the availability, so we just want to see a maximum effort participation.
How would that work for a local to get in a race like this?
Well, we're going to send out some communication here in about 48 hours coming off this press release. It'll have all of the payouts, all of the sporting regulations set up, so that sort of stuff. In that, we'll have contact information for Fliss Performance would probably be the first go-to, and then from there we would facilitate introductions to teams. We have some really good teams in MX-5 Cup that have available MX-5 Cup cars that would be ready, willing, and able to take on new racers for this opportunity.
Any additional questions? Come up here.
None, not at all. Now, we weren't running 30 cars either. We were running 5, and we were running segments and different scenarios on track. A lot of it was just, again, that initial baseline setup to try to figure out what that would be, and then also making sure that temperatures were staying right where they need to be. We didn't get beaten and banging, so to speak, but we were very, very close running with 5 cars and had no issues. A lot of smooth racing, but also a lot of good racers in that. We had Connor Zilich, we had Bobby Labonte, Dale Jr. was with us, Chad McCumbee, Tom Long, and a couple others that day. So we had a lot of good racers in the car, and we put it to the test.
You expect the drivers to be like on our Valley Star 300, where they just it's the last race and they'll do anything to win?
Yeah, because I think we see that a lot in MX-5 Cup. There's a lot of send in it. We do a good job of controlling that with IMSA Race Control and our race stewards. But these young, ambitious racers, they have a mindset that it's get to the podium. So yeah, you'll see a lot of that.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan, John, Clay, Jimmy, and Lisa for joining us up here. At this time, we'll invite up some drivers from both the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour and the Mazda MX-5 Cup. So thank you again, gentlemen, and Lisa. All right, we'll now welcome up those drivers from both the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour and the Mazda MX-5 Cup. All right, we are now joined by NASCAR Hall of Famer Bobby Labonte, as well as three-time NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour champion Justin Bonsignore. And then to their right, we have the driver of the number 22 McCumbee McAleer Racing in the Wheel and Mazda MX-5 Cup Series, Jeremy Fletcher. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. I want to turn it over to all of you before opening up to questions from the media. So just tell me how you're feeling about this exciting doubleheader weekend coming up in October.
All right, I'll go first. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Obviously, I've known a little bit about what was taking place prior to today, and I was up here and was part of the Mazda MX-5 test as well. It was funny whenever I was filling out my calendar for the year, I kept putting the modified race on Thursday, and my spotter kept telling me you're wrong. And I was like, I got to talk to somebody. So I talked to, I think, Mike or Jim, and I was like, what's the schedule like? So anyway, so when it was all said and done, I was like, oh my gosh, it's on a weekend, on its own. So for me, I'm excited about both these races here at Martinsville. Obviously, I don't run a lot of the wheeling races, but the few that I am going to run, coming to Martinsville is one of my favorite places to come to, and ran last year and the year before in the wheel and mod race. So looking forward to the weekend, the standalone for the two series, and I think it's going to be a great weekend, a great time to be here, and love that it's actually like I said, on its standalone weekend. So looking forward to both races, and I'll say this real quickly is when we came here to test, I stopped at a place to get some hunting supplies. And the guy said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, I'm, going to stop here and get this, and going to go test a Mazda." And he said, his son was there, and he's like, "A Mazda at Martinsville?" I said, "Yep." And he goes, "Well, we're going to watch that." So I thought, well, you know what? That just made sense right there, that the father and the kid, they're going to come watch the races here that weekend, because it's something different. And I think that's a great thing that, to me, will be a lot of people will show up for this.
Yeah, I think it's an awesome event that's going to be on its own standalone weekend. It's huge for our series with the NASCAR Modified Tour, like Clay mentioned before. Nearly 95% of our teams are all blue-collar guys that work a normal job, drivers included. So to be able to save a couple days off of work for the crew guys and everybody makes it a really cool, and to have it Saturday night under the lights, the fans will turn out in big numbers, Clay feels, and that's awesome to be able to race in front of bigger crowd. Our championship race weekend, it's just everything brewed together to be really a good event, and now to throw the Mazda MX-5 series in will be a really cool experience. Just was looking at the car outside before. I've watched YouTube videos of their finishes at Daytona, and and they're usually pretty crazy. So to do it on a half-mile oval should be pretty wild. Be cool to see. Maybe Bobby, you gonna be in a race? Oh, maybe. So that would be pretty cool to see. And I think the crossover just of us going to look at their cars in their pit area and them come look at our stuff. It'll be really cool to interact with all the different drivers and teams. And as long as it puts on a good show for the fans, that's what I'm all here for. And I just want to thank Wheelan and for everything they do for both series and all forms of racing, and Martinsville for putting this together. It should be a really cool event. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. To add on to that, I mean, just really exciting. You know, you get two different paddocks where we come from the road course and we can kind of see their world, and they can kind of come over and see ours. So the Wheelan Mazda MX-5 Cup is definitely close racing. You know, I think it'll be good racing, hard finishes, but yeah, I'm really excited. Flish Performance definitely done a good job when they came here for the test. I spoke to my team owner, Chad McCumbee, after driving. Said it was, you know, really exciting, really good finishes, you know, really good on the track. So I'll tell you in about 15 minutes here when I go out and, you know, hopefully get some hot laps in or try to do what I can do out there and impress these guys.
All right, we'll go ahead and open it up to questions. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll start over here with Kara.
Martinsville will host 6 different types of racing this fall. What is it as drivers on the track that makes it so versatile, that makes so many different series have good racing here?
It's just a perfect size short track. Long straightaways, tight corners, a lot of braking, corner speeds are slow, a lot of off throttle time. Just keeps everybody seems closer together in almost every series that runs here. So it's just been a thing for 50, 60, I guess 70 years now here of close racing. And, you know, at the end of the day, everybody wants the clock. So people are willing to get a little more aggressive and do a little more things for the clock at the end of the day.
You know, and I can add on that. You know, I've been coming here for many years, and as a race fan, and you know, been able to drive in a lot of the series here. So 4, maybe 5, I don't know yet, but you know, so yeah, I mean, it's you know, actually I did late models. I guess I did all 6, but anyway, I got a couple clocks. So anyway, it's you know, like I said, it's a great racetrack. It's fun, tight racing, and you know, short tracks across America. I mean. It's grassroots racing, and when you come here, you know, you think about that. You think about short track racing and how tight it is, and you know how fun it is too. I mean, it's just a good. Always puts on a great race, great show, and you know, I've seen a lot of these pictures on the wall. Not all of them, but you know, I was here for a few of them. So yeah, just great short track racing, and for all divisions, and now you know, especially now the Mazdas are coming. Yeah, I think you know, for me, when I think of you know, not worried about trying something new, you know, I think that you know, with NASCAR, IMSA, Wheelan, I mean, everybody involved, you know, I think that you know, it's you know, they're not scared to, hey, let's bring this here to this short track, to this venue, and you know, kind of like Justin said, I watched Mazdas run, watched them. Actually live a few times, and then you know, on video, put on a great show. And you know, for the combination of both, I mean, different weekend, you know, different series coming, you know, kind of get back to a little bit of something, and you know, can't forget the, you know, just the timing of it, and you know, the excitement of it. And I think bringing a new series here along with the modifieds, which is traditional, you know, and been here for so many years, and then you know, that's exciting in itself. But you know, adding that flavor to it is really cool to see that's happening. You know, I mean, and you can sit there and talk about it in the hallway all you want, but you know, now that we've heard that they've, you know, this has actually gone from the hallway to, you know, to Clay, to him, for him to be here, for him to have this at his track. I mean, this is really awesome.
Charles?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm definitely excited, and there's definitely some guys in Mazda that run some circle track stuff like Connor Zillich, and I think it's definitely a different world for both of us. I did some legend car stuff, and I think the driving is a pretty bit relatable actually. So I think everyone should be excited to try something new and make some left turns.
I've covered many press conferences here, and some drivers just can't figure out this track.
I mean, I got a good team behind me, got some good driver coaches, so I'm feeling pretty confident in my team and myself to, figure it out and make it happen.
Additional questions? Yep.
Bobby, you made a statement, got a couple of these clocks, and tough as it's been to get them. We're talking 5 wide at Martinsville, thousandths of seconds to win. How much more difficult is it going to be to win that clock?
I'd rather be on the inside, for sure. But yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the Martinsville history is the clock, and it's hard to win, when you're out front leading by 3 seconds, right? I mean, it's difficult. So these guys put on a great show, and I know on Saturday there'll be 2 clocks given away, and the modified race will be exciting, and if you're 5 wide in that, we'll probably see a little trouble. but at the same time, I think the Mazdas are going to put on a great show, and like we have seen in the past, where they'll do a lot of passing on the last lap. So it'll be interesting for that. But looking forward to having a chance to win a clock as well.
Any final questions? Yep.
As drivers, can you consider some of the history concerning Southside Virginia, Martinsville, having MX-5 come in for the oval course after so many years here, and just down the road, VIR essentially coming back to life in the past several years with MX-5 also running there, which puts Virginia in a historic map for the MX-5 series. Can you hit on that just a little bit?
I'm not too familiar with the MX-5 series, but there is a lot of racing history in the state of Virginia with all the short tracks, all the cup facilities, VIR. It is pretty cool that it'll come full circle for them to be here, as VIR is right down the road. So yeah, that's it's something I didn't even think about, but it's really pretty cool, and just looking forward to the event. It should be a good event.
All right. Well, thank you, Bobby, Justin, and Jeremy. For the media here today, we have a bit of a fun surprise. Jeremy touched on it a bit. We have a preview for what's to come in October. So we have a 2-seater Mazda MX-5 open-top car here today. Should any media want to ride along or just record B-roll, Jeremy will be giving media rides around the track for those who wish to participate. So thank you for joining us today here, gentlemen. And if any media have any questions, please let me know.